just wanted to give some feedback on Cebu Pacific. I've had 3 flights now on Cebu Pacific, and I just thought I'd share my experience with flying on Cebu and stuff like that. I'd actually booked through Webjet, not directly on Cebu Pacific. I had difficulty at the time when I was originally booking the flights, getting the 3 flights together, and that's why I actually used Webjet. And it was interesting using Webjet because once I'd made that booking, then they basically handed me over to Cebu Pacific if I wanted to make any changes and things like that. I did make some changes to the flights. I found I only had 20 kilos of luggage through the booking with Webjet, and I didn't have any option to increase that. I did download the Cebu Pacific app, but because of the apostrophe in my surname, I wasn't able to use the app for that particular booking. It wouldn't allow me to provide any updates and things like that. So when I first arrived in Manila, I went up to the ticketing office up on the departures area, and actually had to line up for about 45 minutes to get in. It was a bit of a slow process, but once I got in there, I had very helpful staff at the ticketing counter to increase my baggage up to 32 kilos. I was actually carrying about 25 kilos for my journey. And that didn't cost too much extra. I certainly didn't want to be stung at airport check-in at the area thing. So my initial flight was flying from Manila to Catlan to go to Boracay. That was fine. I did a self check-in and then dropped the bag off to the baggage drop, and that was all good. I had a very good flight experience to Boracay. Coming home yesterday, I had 2 flights. So I went from Catlan via Manila, and then Manila to Cebu, Mactan. So yesterday, the plane leaving Boracay, we were the first flight out. There was another flight that was leaving 15 minutes later for Manila, which I don't remember seeing at the time, so whether that was an additional one added. But it was interesting. We'd all loaded onto the buses. The departure terminal at Catlan is actually different to the arrivals terminal, and you basically go by bus down the runway and then cross over to where the planes are parked. My particular plane had only just landed, although there was another jet that was already there, and so the later flight was actually loaded onto the existing jet, and so we were actually delayed because our flight had only just arrived to wait for the passengers to get off, and of course we had lots of people taking selfies and vlogs and stuff like that, so it was a bit of a delay. So by the time we actually took off, it was around an hour late from that point. Which was fine, you know. I had time. It was an issue, but if you're I guess on a tight time schedule, then Cebu could be a bit of a challenge for you. When we arrived in Manila, the thing that you've got to realise with Cebu Pacific is that they don't use the air bridges. They actually use parking along further down the bays. They use a couple of gates for some flights, but I'm not too sure where, because every flight I took was you were parked up and then a bus took you. So we arrived at the parking area only to be told that we had to wait a while because there was an issue with the generator to be connected to the plane to provide an alternative power supply, and then also we had to wait for the ladder, the steps, to be applied to the plane. So that took a while. I then got into the terminal. I was told that I have to go back out onto the footpath to have my bags rescanned, but that's not the case. If you arrive in Manila and are connecting to another domestic flight and have to pick up your luggage, when you come out from the domestic luggage exit, simply turn left, and if you go to the end of the terminal, you'll see a set of escalators going up twice. If you go up on those and then kind of hook back around to your right and then go towards the front of the terminal building, you'll see some security there. Just show them your next flight details and also your passport or identification, and then you can go into the normal areas to check in. my flight to Manila to Cebu left on time. That was all good. Just another tip that I found handy, maybe it's just me, but when you do get onto the bus, just stand near the exit gate so you can be one of the first off the plane. Here in the Philippines, probably a little bit like Australia now, everyone does take carry-on luggage. Whilst it said that they do check the weight of the hand luggage and stuff like that, or only one piece, I saw several people with multiple bags. But yeah, it's a bit of a struggle to get your bags up top, so I always like to be on the plane a little bit earlier to just secure that spot for my bag. So that was okay, put my stuff up top and settled in for the flight. Flight was good, it left on time, arrived on time. The only issue was when we did land, we went up and we parked up, and an air bridge did connect to the front of the plane, but then we were told that we'd have to exit the plane by the rear door only, and so that meant, being in row 4, that I had quite a wait to get off the plane and then wait to get onto the bus. So I found it ludicrous that there was an air bridge attached which had a set of steps going down from the air bridge back down to the tarmac, which you know, the plane could have been emptied from the back and the front, not just purely the back stairs, so it was a bit of a delay. Getting the bags was all fine. Cebu Terminal has obviously had a bit of damage during the typhoon, but it's getting back to normal. You know, it was an ease to get out to the transport area and be collected, so no problem from that perspective. My advice to you, if you are flying Cebu Pacific, certainly download the app and do your bookings through the app. Look, you can certainly make all the changes you need to do through whether you need to update flights and things like that by managing your booking, but do that on the app. If you've got an apostrophe or something like that in your name, you're probably going to struggle like I did, but I was assured that if I actually used the app going forward, even if I dropped the apostrophe out of my name, I probably wouldn't have that challenge. Whether that would present other issues with security when checking in because my surname doesn't match the passport ID or whatever, I'm not sure. But look, it's a budget airline. I compare it to Jetstar in Australia. The only frustration, as I said, was I guess yesterday was a couple of times we had some significant delays or you know, trying to disembark the plane by when they had an air bridge connected. But anyway, that's life. I'm on holidays. I should relax, you know. But anyhow, welcome to Cebu, Mactan, and Lapu-Lapu City. So looking forward to spending some time. 20 to 8 in the morning now already. It's pretty warm, and so going to go for breakfast and check out probably a breakfast vlog coming soon on reviewing Soleil Mactan here at this resort breakfast. Have a great day. Take care.